really warm up with a cup of coffee. How about you?
Hey, what do you want to drink? A mocha? Well, phooey, we're nearly out of chocolate. We're going to have to make some more.
In a medium saucepan, we are going to combine 3 cups of sugar, 1.5 cups of cocoa powder, and a teaspoon of salt. We're going to give that a little stir around in the pan to start mixing it together a little bit. And we're going to pour in 1.5 cups of water. And we'll put some heat under here. And we're going to bring this mixture to a boil. There's still quite a bit of stirring to be done. So we're going to bring this to a boil, and if you wanted to make a thicker syrup like to put on ice cream, then we would let it boil for 2 to 3 minutes. But I find that when I'm making it just for our syrup for our coffee, which is normally what we do, that you can turn it off almost immediately once it comes to a boil.
And here we have a nicely boiling pan of chocolate syrup, and you may be able to see that once it starts to boil, the level of the syrup in the pan rises very rapidly. So don't be afraid to use a slightly bigger pan than you might think necessary to prevent it from boiling over. If it does boil over, you're going to have a really sticky mess to clean up.
Our last step is we're going to add 1 tablespoon of vanilla and 2 tablespoons of light corn syrup. Now you might wonder why, since we already have 3 cups of sugar in this, we need 2 tablespoons of light corn syrup on top of it all. And the reason is simply that the light corn syrup helps keep the syrup from crystallizing in the jar so that whenever you want it, it pours out easily. And we'll stir these in, and then we're going to let this cool in the pan for a little while. It's too hot to decant into any other plastic containers.
So we're going to let it cool on the stove for at least half an hour, and every few minutes we're going to wander over and give it a stir to keep any skin from building up on the top. As the syrup cools, if it builds up a skin, it doesn't incorporate back well into the syrup. Our syrup is now cooled enough that we can decant it into some containers without fear of melting the plastic containers. You can use any plastic squirt bottle that you have available to decant the chocolate. We're using special bottles that we bought for this purpose. We're also using a funnel because the fluid is still fairly hot and it's a kind of a small target that we're shooting for. And that bottle is full, so we're just going to decant whatever we have left into the second bottle. It's really hard not to resist licking the spatula after you've done this. That is so good.